9 minutes left, so let's
Sure.
close with some statements from George and then Peter.
No, I think it's clear from everything that we've been talking about. It's clear what happened in the last few days that this is a critical moment. I mean, it's a critical moment in in sort of humanity's maybe short-lived experiment with free speech. Through most of human history, we haven't enjoyed free speech. Powerful people have suppressed views that they felt were threatening, and the publication of things that they felt were threatening. So we've had a couple of 100 years, not of a long time, of relatively free speech. Well, that may well be coming to an end. I mean, there are plenty of signs that this is the case. And the persecution of Julian Assange is so naked, is so political, and is so driven by powerful governments wanting to essentially suppress any information that reflects adversely on them. So it's so obviously that if they can get away with this, then there's not going to be an awful lot of free speech then, because who is going to dare in future to publish information that reveals war crimes by governments? Why would anyone want to do that? I mean, they've seen what happened to Julian Assange. They've seen what happened to Chelsea Manning. Seen what happens to the guy with the Bold 7. Why would anyone want to take that sort of a risk? Of course, they're not going to. And that's why governments want to make an example of Julian Assange. This is what you're going to get if you publish information that we don't want to see the light of day. So, yeah, this is indeed a critical moment.
Before I throw it back to Peter, I just wanted to underscore what you've just said, that throughout the vast millennia of human history, civilization, the default position is to crush any kind of rights of people, including the idea of a free press. It's an aberration in history, as you say, maybe 100 years or something, a couple 100 years, where we've enjoyed that. So the government of the U.S. is retreating back to the way most rulers throughout history have ruled. And as I pointed out, Peter, before you came on, what example does this show the world? I talked about Tiananmen Square. They had a paper mache Statue of Liberty. Ho Chi Minh referred to the Declaration of Independence. Governments and peoples around the world have looked towards the United States as setting the example. If they prosecute and jail Julian Assange for publishing, what impact does that have on the world, Peter?
Well, just building on George's comment, I would look at a shorter length of history, which is just since the internet was developed. And it offers promise of a new level playing field where the voice of average people could be heard as loudly as those with money and printing presses. Right. And there was a period of relatively unfettered, and that has now been monetized, turned into a surveillance system, and the limited expression that we saw even as recently as 10 years ago is being squished. And we know about the crackdown by Google and Facebook on independent media outlets. When I post a podcast on Facebook, I'm now told I need to register with them to post or boost anything that is political in nature. And I've had an account with them for 10 years, but only now, as they are silencing Alex Jones, and like you, I do not agree with style, standards, or his hysterical ranting, but he does deserve free speech, just like I do, and I'm being treated like Alex Jones in the current climate. And this will not get better. And by taking and turning him into an example that George referenced, this is a cautionary tale. for the next reality winner who contacts The Intercept and lets them burn her. And you know what really disappoints me is how many people don't. When I posted last night on Facebook the San Francisco rally, two of my alleged progressive colleagues from talk radio here in the Bay Area, one just referred to Assange as a double rapist, said that and the other opened up with the canard that he's not a journalist. And then, you know, the smears that have been laid out are repeated. The gentleman who served as the consul general at the Embassy of Ecuador in London for 6 of the 7 years that Assange was in asylum there, countered the false reports that he spread feces on the wall. He did confirm that from the hall. And I that to be understandable behavior for somebody who was locked up and couldn't go outside. But we've seen how effective the smears have been, and how average people prefer to engage with the smear than to look at the overarching principle here. And so we have a real struggle. The American public has, you know, swallowed the generated fears of terrorism and accepted serious rollbacks of our critical rights that are enumerated in the Bill of Rights. And this, to me, is a very important moment where we need to stand for our right to receive and publish information, including that has been inappropriately declared. And that secrecy is often used not to protect any national, but to protect certain people from embarrassment and from possible investigation and prosecution for crimes up to and including war crimes. And so these are not trivial matters in any way, but well-informed and people who claim to be progressive is really difficult in this current climate.
That is the last word in this special vigil on Thursday, the day of the extradition hearing beginning for Julian Assange in London. I wanted to thank Patrick Hensingen, who joined us earlier from London, George Samueli, who's talking to us from Budapest, Hungary, and Peter B. Collins from the Bay Area in California in the United States. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you, everyone, for watching and listening. You could see a replay of this on YouTube and on consortiumnews.com. And we will speak to you the following Friday as we continue to cover the case of Julian Assange. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Joe, for organizing it.
You're welcome.